You know I love Lamar Jackson. You know I defend him to the ends of the earth, and he's easy to defend. He's great, except against Kansas City and Pittsburgh. He is 65-18 against the league. He's lost once to an NFC team in like 25 games, and yet he's 2-9 against the Steelers and Chiefs. Superman's kryptonite. And he has these, and it's him, it's the Ravens. They lose their identity whenever he plays the Steelers and the Chiefs. He gets too frenetic. He doesn't trust himself. He's trying too hard. He loses composure, and they bailed on their identity. This is a run-leaning operation. And yesterday, they throw 33 passes and run 19 times, and where's Derrick Henry? Where's Derrick Henry in the fourth quarter? What in the hell's going on? Every time I watch Baltimore against everybody else, they walk in, take their shirt off, and like, power team. It's like 1970s at Venice Beach. We're going to do lifting weights in front of everybody. Just a big muscle show. Power in your face. And then they play Pittsburgh, and then they play Kansas City, and they're like, well, we like to pass. That's fine. But your identity back to Ray Lewis. Baltimore's a tough city. You're a tough team. You control the tempo. You lose your way. And there is something about Lamar in these games. And like Derrick Henry disappears in the fourth, and they're throwing too much. And it was a one-possession game. Like Pittsburgh gave you opportunities to win. Russell Wilson threw maybe his worst pick in several years. Najee Harris averaged 3.5 yards a carry. It's not like Pittsburgh got into any rhythm. I didn't think either quarterback played particularly well. It was there for the taking.
Okay, let's talk about this, because I knew everyone was going to come in hard on Lamar Jackson. And I really think, and I watched this game start to finish, and I really think that what I've been saying about Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens now for like months and months, honestly, at this point, this is a perfect example of this, is that stop blaming Lamar Jackson for all of this, right? This whole idea, Lamar Jackson's record versus these teams. No, it should be the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens and the coaching staff do not show up, and it's indefensible. Do not put this all on Lamar Jackson. Does Lamar Jackson have some blame? Absolutely, positively. He's the quarterback of an NFL team. He will always have some blame. But he does not share the bulk of the blame. They had 12 penalties. They had almost the same number of penalties as Derrick Henry had carries. That is insane. That is indefensible. Indefensible. That's on Harbaugh and the coaching staff. That is on Harbaugh and the coaching staff. I mean, they're getting in fights and stuff. I understand it's a big, tough divisional game. I get it. And there's going to be bad blood and all that stuff there. But grow up already. That's what cost you against the Kansas City Chiefs. Getting multiple unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Doing dumb things, trying to do more than what you need to do. Right? Fumbling the ball, not taking care of it, getting penalties. That was a huge reason why the Ravens lost. The Chiefs were able to use that to their advantage. They're well coached. They're buttoned up. They're grown up. The Baltimore Ravens lead the league in penalties and penalty yards. It's indefensible. Everyone tells me how amazing of a coach Harbaugh is. He won a Super Bowl. Wow. Against a quarterback that was no longer in the league. And it was because he wasn't good enough. It just doesn't make sense, honestly. I mean, no one else steps up. It's Lamar Jackson's fault that Tucker's missing field goals now. That his players are getting in fights. That they're not handing the ball over. That there was 12 penalties for 80 yards. I mean, it just doesn't really make sense. He does not have this team ready for big games. He just doesn't. And then they make Lamar Jackson unsure of himself. You can see in this game, Lamar Jackson is caught between two worlds. Like, do I rip off a run? Do I try to pass? Like, what do I do? He hasn't found that balance of like when to be the Lamar, when to use his legs, when to rip off a run, when to use his legs to extend a play, then throw. You saw this game that he was caught in between these two worlds. And even the commentating was like, oh, Lamar could have ripped off a run there, but he didn't. I'd like to see him do that. But then when Lamar continues to be more of his more newer version of himself, right, a more throw first person, that directly led to the drive where they scored. So it's like it's a tough one. He needs better coaching. I will be consistent in that. He needs better coaching. But the best example of all of this, of how ill prepared this team is, it's a close game, divisional game, let's go, all hands on deck. Lamar Jackson, beautiful scramble, running all over the place like crazy, throws a beautiful pass to Flowers, who's wide open. He just drops it. Drops happen, of course. You're not going to catch every single pass. But to me, that was a perfect representation of that. It's like, again, that's Lamar Jackson's fault. You can't expect Lamar Jackson to be perfect and a superhero every single game. And I understand you're like, oh, this is, what is he, 1-4 now or whatever it is, and to like lump in the Chiefs in there. Oh, he's so and so against the Chiefs and the Steelers. Look at how the other players play in those games. Awfully. Look how Harbaugh goes. Again, is it Tucker? Like history won't remember Tucker missing all those field goals. They'll just say, look at Lamar Jackson's completion percentage and his passer rating. They won't remember that he scrambled like wild, throws a beautiful pass that's just dropped. I mean, it's the difference between having a game-winning drive and losing. It's the difference between having 290 yards and 207 yards. Having 12 penalties. 12 penalties. Derrick Henry had 13 carries. The team as a whole had 19 carries. 4 of those coming from Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's just indefensible. It's indefensible. It is coaching. It is coaching. It is coaching. It is coaching. We can stop putting this all on Lamar's plate. At this point, we have to look at this team and say, look what Lamar has to do to overcome. It's the same argument I made a lot with Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills. I said, look what Josh Allen has to overcome. He has to overcome a defensive head coach. He has to overcome drop passes, no run game, bad play calling, weird play designs, a revolving door of offensive coordinators. And a lot of people rip me for being like a Josh Allen apologist or whatever. And I'm hard on Lamar. Lamar absolutely could have won big games, and he was part of the problem in some of those moments. But his team fails him more than he fails his team. Could have Lamar Jackson played better this game? Yeah, he could have. He could have. I mean, could Patrick Mahomes played better against Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills on Sunday? Absolutely. Could Josh Allen have played better? Absolutely. Absolutely. Could Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, all these quarterbacks could always play better. But I just don't think it's fair to say that Lamar Jackson can't handle these moments. That's the narrative that keeps being told, and that's the narrative that I really have trouble with. Because the more I think about it, the more big games that I watch. Right, so like Lamar Jackson, because this is what Colin said on his podcast with John Middlecoff, the more you face Lamar Jackson, the easier it is to face him. Okay, if that's the case, then why does he still ball out against Cincinnati Bengals? Like, that doesn't really make sense to me. So we can't use that as a truth claim. Yes, if you haven't really faced Lamar Jackson, that is when when Lamar Jackson could be at his best. That's why he dominates the NFC. So there's some of that. There's some of that truth. But it's not like, oh, well, if you keep facing him, he just turns into a pumpkin. The Baltimore Ravens as a team are not ready for these big games. Consistently. We consistently see it in the playoffs. The coaching is suspect. The play calling. The game plan. Right? How does Derrick Henry only get the ball 13 times? How does that happen? Seriously, how does that happen? He was averaging 6 yards per carry. So how does that happen? Where does that make sense? Where is any of the innovative play calling? They had the one great play calling. Well, one play call. It was like the only time I saw it, where they had a fake pitch. Everyone was going to the right. And then it was a throw to Likely. It was like that. It was simple, but it was smart. It got the defense confused. Right? It was like kind of like I don't want to say it was a trick play because it was hardly a trick play, but it was just it made stuff easier for the offense. It got a guy open. It had an easy throw for Lamar. All too often these games, it really is. And that's what I always say. It's just call a hike, and it's like, best of luck, Lamar. Please try your best to make something happen. Please try your best, bro. And it's like, what are we doing here? What are these game plans? How do you not prep your team go beforehand? Guys, I don't want to see you get in a single fight. I don't want to see a single penalty because you're getting in a fight with these guys. That's what they want. They want us to be off our block. They want us to be off our A game. We are the dominant team. We are the better team. We have the better quarterback. We have the better weapons. We are the team to beat, not them. They're going to be doing that. When they do that, we just look at them and laugh and smile in their face. We let them get their penalties. Let them hurt themselves, not us. But let's just do the opposite. Let's get 12 penalties instead. Sure. Let's get in multiple fights. Sure. That has worked so well for you in the past, hasn't it? Doesn't make sense, honestly. And I mean, if this season doesn't go as the Baltimore Ravens wanted to, I would 100% fire Harbaugh. I know he's a really consistent coach, but you just get consistently good results, not great, not elite results. And Lamar Jackson's too special of a quarterback who can do too many special things to not give him a great offensive head coach. Someone who can actually prepare this team for the big moments and not just rely on Lamar's heroics. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Baltimore Ravens loss versus the Steelers, Lamar Jackson's performance? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.